In this world, you don't get points for playing fair. You get remembered for winning. History doesn't honor the good. It honors the victorious. Julius Caesar wasn't celebrated for his kindness. He was celebrated because Rome bent to his will. Napoleon wasn't admired for restraint. He was admired for his domination. And Niccolo Machiavelli, he didn't write The Prince to inspire morality. He wrote it to hand you the blueprint for power. The truth is simple. If you win, they'll forgive or forget everything you did to get there. If you lose, they'll write your story for you, and you will not like the ending. We live in an age that preaches authenticity and playing nice. But beneath that surface, it's still the law of the jungle. Your competitors are not trying to coexist. They're retrying to get ahead of you. The Prince's Code exists to make sure they never succeed. Winning without apology is not about being reckless. It's about being precise. It's about knowing exactly what you want and removing anything that stands in the way. It's about holding your moral compass in your own hands, not letting the world dictate where it should point. This is the reality. The weak are consumed. The cautious are sidelined. The sentimental are manipulated. Machiavelli knew this. He saw how power truly worked behind the curtains of politics, in the hidden rooms of kings, in the whispered deals made at midnight. And he distilled it into laws that could be used by anyone willing to embrace them. This isn't about being cruel for the sake of cruelty. This is about efficiency. This is about understanding that every move you make is either bringing you closer to the throne or pushing you off it. So if you want to win, and not just once, but for as long as you breathe, you must follow the Prince's Code. And you must do it without hesitation, without guilt, without apology. Because in the end, it's not about how you played the game. It's about who holds the crown when the dust settles. History doesn't remember events. It remembers stories. And the one who controls the story controls how reality itself is perceived. The facts, they're secondary. The perception, that's everything. Machiavelli understood that truth is rarely pure. It's a weapon, a tool to be sharpened, dulled, or reshaped depending on who holds it. A ruler who allows others to define the narrative is already losing. It's not the reality that matters. It's the reality people believe. This is why kings, generals, and modern power players move quickly after a decisive act, not just to consolidate control, but to frame the meaning of what just happened. If you strike, you must also speak. If you act, you must explain in a way that serves your position, not the truth in its rawest form. You must learn to feed the world a version of events that strengthens you, even if it means cutting away pieces of the truth. Never lie without purpose, but never tell the whole truth if it weakens your position. In the court of power, the truth is edited before it's presented. And here is the trap for the naive. They think that doing the right thing will speak for itself. It won't. The right thing, left unshaped, will be twisted by your enemies into a weapon against you. Control the story, from the headlines to the whispers in the hallway. Decide what they remember. Decide how they interpret your moves. In the end, the one who writes the story writes the verdict. If you don't define your actions, your enemies will. And once their version takes hold, it will be almost impossible to erase. Closeness can breed contempt, and overexposure will strip away your mystique. A ruler who is always available becomes common. A strategist who is always in the crowd loses the aura of command. Machiavelli understood. Familiarity can dissolve authority. Your presence should be rare enough to be valued, but powerful enough to be remembered. Like a king who appears only at decisive moments, you must step into the spotlight when it matters most, not a second sooner. This scarcity amplifies your influence, making each appearance an event rather than a routine. Distance is not just physical, it's psychological. Guard your inner thoughts. Let people wonder what you're planning, even when you're doing nothing at all. This uncertainty is power. The moment they think they fully know you, they stop fearing or respecting you. The key is calibrated availability. Be present enough to lead, absent enough to be missed. Engage selectively. Leave them wanting more. Never allow anyone to feel they have full access to you. Because once they do, you've lost the game before it's begun. Maintain your silhouette of power, visible from afar, untouchable up close. Power doesn't fall by accident. It's taken piece by piece. And one of the oldest, most effective weapons in history is not the sword, but the wedge. When groups unite, they grow bold. They become harder to move, harder to manipulate. But when they fracture, when suspicion seeps in like poison, they collapse under their own weight. Machiavelli understood this. A united front is dangerous. A fractured one is yours to command. This is not about brute force. It's about precision. You don't destroy alliances in one strike. You loosen the bolts quietly until the whole structure falls apart. Plant doubts in the right minds. Feed subtle rivalries. Offer selective rewards that make loyalty to you more valuable than loyalty to them. The goal is not open conflict, it's erosion. They should still believe they stand together, even as their trust rots from the inside. Do not underestimate how fragile unity truly is. A single rumor well placed can do more damage than 100 soldiers. A private favor to one person can turn them into your silent agent without them even realizing it. And when the cracks are deep enough, you step in, the one stable, decisive figure they can all lean on. They will not even notice that you now hold the center of gravity. History belongs to those who divide well, because once you control the pieces, the whole is yours. A ruler's greatest power isn't the sword. It's the illusion that without them, chaos will consume everything. History is littered with leaders who engineered crises only they could solve. Some created the fire, then walked in with water, cloaked in righteousness. Machiavelli understood, desperation breeds loyalty. When people believe you are their only bridge to safety, they will protect you with a zeal no law can command. The key is subtlety. Never be caught starting the storm, only ending it. Your rise must look like a reluctant sacrifice, the noble act of one who had no choice but to lead. A failing economy, a fractured movement, a war no one can win. In each, you plant the seeds of doubt. Without me, we will fall. Then you arrive, decisive, calm, ruthless. You solve the exact problem that made them afraid. They crown you in gratitude, forgetting who first whispered to fear. Power isn't taken, it's offered. And nothing opens hands faster than the belief you're the only one who can save them. The savior who stays a savior is invincible. The savior who is exposed becomes the villain. So guard your image with the same care you guard your throne. The most dangerous enemies are not the ones standing in front of you. They are the ones quietly preparing behind closed doors. The seeds of rebellion are planted in whispers before they bloom into revolutions. A wise ruler doesn't wait for danger to arrive. He kills it in the cradle. Machiavelli warns us, it is easier to stop a problem before it begins than to cure it after it has taken root. The same is true of threats. By the time they are visible, it's already too late. You must train your mind to see the storm before the first cloud appears. Spot the rising stars who could one day challenge your authority. Watch for alliances forming, even if they seem harmless. And when you find the spark, extinguish it without hesitation. This is not cruelty, it is preventive survival. History is full of leaders who were destroyed because they allowed potential rivals to grow unchecked. Power is not lost in a sudden battle. It is lost in the quiet years before the battle is even fought. Your rule must be like a fortress, impenetrable, untouchable, and prepared for wars that haven't happened yet. Sometimes the most merciful thing you can do is strike before the war begins, because when it does, mercy will not be shown to you. Power isn't about reacting, It's about making sure the threat never matures. If you want to keep the throne, you must be willing to end the game before the first move is made. If you've learned the unspoken laws of winning from the Prince's Code, then don't just consume this truth, live it. Subscribe to the Inner Citadel Project and comment the one move you would make to protect your power before the war starts.